Good afternoon. Welcome to the No Structure Podcast. My name is Matt. I'm your host. Today, we'll be doing a live little board draft and reacting to today's free agency news. Appreciate you guys being here. We've got a full show today. And let's go ahead and get this party started. Real quick, I'm just going to send out the link on YouTube. We are one pick away from filling here in the little board. And we're full and ready to rock and roll. So real quick, just a quick word from our sponsor here. Just want to say that this episode is sponsored by Fantasy Fitness. If you guys are ready to dominate your fantasy football leagues, go ahead and check out Fantasy Fitness. That's www.fantasyfitness.io. You can check out all the latest fantasy news with the news center. 50 articles are pulled in every day, 5 times a day from the 5 largest fantasy news sites. You get all the player write-ups, team write-ups, college prospects, glossary of fantasy terms. And then if you go behind the paywall, there's 3 different tiers, $4, $8, and $12 a month. You can integrate your dynasty rosters, get all sorts of roster metrics, AI tools to do like a full write-up and analysis of your dynasty team, action items on how to improve, and much, much more. So again, check out Fantasy Fitness at www.fantasyfitness.io. Back to the board. As I mentioned, we are doing a little board today. This is the $3 entry, 20 entry max, 100,000 to first. We're drafting in the 10 hole. And we are one pick away. Again, appreciate you guys being here. This is the little board on Underdog. And as we go, we'll be reacting to some news from today's free agency opening. All right, Christian falls to 10. I'm going to take him here. Maybe we'll get a faller and a cool combo at the next pick. So just kind of see what happens there. But Christian McCaffrey at pick 10 to open up this little board draft. All right, one pick away. Hope you guys are enjoying your afternoon on this Monday. It's kind of between Love and Hampton. Guess I'll go Love. Like his profile. Crushed it at the combine. Gonna probably be a top 10 pick from, all the rumors floating around out there. So Jeremiah Love with the second pick. Double anchor here in the first 2 rounds, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. Real quick, we'll just describe this tournament a little bit for those that are not familiar with it. As I mentioned, this is a $3 entry, 20 entry max, $100,000 to first, $50,000 to second, $25,000 to third, so on and so forth. This is a 2 out of 12 for the first round, and then if you advance out of your initial pod, you've got to finish first out of 10 in your second pod, and then first out of 10 in your third pod to make it to that 315 seat final. So I like to try to get 3 quarterbacks here just for a little extra insurance. Otherwise, maybe a little lean at tight end, but this is a more difficult tournament to advance through. So I like to ping pong those quarterbacks when I can. But it is easy to get boxed out and only come out of here with 2. So got to be thinking about that a little bit more, I think, in this tournament. Not a must, but something to consider. All right, Bucky goes at 23. The news on the day there in Tampa is Kenneth Gainwell signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So he'll be split in the backfield with Bucky. I think that'll probably be maybe 60-40 Bucky. Hard to say. Gainwell's obviously, real good in the passing game. He showed that last year in Pittsburgh. He's also got a, pretty good BMI too. So that helps, a guy that has soft hands that's also got a good BMI. He's going to find himself on the field a lot. And he had some explosive games last year. Otherwise, nothing too crazy with the rest of these picks. Trying to just Walker moves up to 19. That's the other big move here on this board. That's based on the news that he signs with Kansas City today. So entrenched as the starter there in Kansas City, he comes up from the early third to the mid second. I'm guessing that's gonna stick around. And then Travis Etienne signs with the Saints on a multi-year deal. So what's that mean for Alvin Kamara? What's that mean for Devin Neal? Those are some good questions. Obviously, Etienne's going to be the starter. One pick away. That's a faller on A.J. Brown, I think. It's his ADP. 29, so a few spots. I'm going to go Breece. We'll just triple anchor this. Go into the I don't like, the running backs as much. Certainly not in the back half of the board. Up till about pick 100, it's pretty decent, and then it really thins out, and you got to pick your spots. So we'll go triple running back here. It's going to be interesting trying to get 3 quarterbacks and my wide receivers. So be a challenging draft, but I'm up for it. Go Garrett Wilson. You know what? I'm not going to do that actually because I'm not going to make that level of investment. Let's go Mika. Mike Evans is out in Tampa Bay. That's going to clear the path a little bit here for Mika Ibuka, Chris Godwin, a little bit of McMillan, and I think they are trying to keep Cade Otton around. If I remember right, he's in talks to sign there. I like both his single week upside and his long, his season long outlook. Has that connection with Baker. Hopefully he can get a stack going there. Did think about Garrett Wilson, but I just don't want to overload on the Jets offense. I like the passing game and the weak division down there in the NFC South more so than the AFC East. So give me Breece, but I'm going to skip on Wilson on this particular build. Again, this is the No Structure podcast for those that are just joining. We're doing a live little board draft, $3 buy-in, $100,000 to first, and also reacting to some of this free agency news that's been flying off the press all day long. It's been a fun day. J.K. Dobbins is also sticking around Denver. He signs a 2-year deal with the Broncos. Michael Pittman, he was traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Malik Willis signs with the Dolphins on a 3-year deal for $67.5 million, $45 million guaranteed. All right, we started off triple anchor, which is fine. Now we've got to get to work with the running backs, or excuse me, the wide receivers and the quarterbacks. Probably going to play the tight end late in this particular build. I don't want to, unless there's some screaming value on the board. If you guys are watching over on YouTube, definitely would love to engage in the comments. All right, we're going Carnell Tate, rookie from Ohio State, first round draft pick most likely. Of course, I never want to say anything with certainty until it happens, but I think there's a decent chance we'll see Carnell Tate go in the first round. Grab him here as our second. Again, I appreciate you guys all being here. This is the afternoon episode of the No Structure podcast presented to you by Fantasy Fitness. Sweet. Me, Jaden Daniels. Go ahead and get one of those quarterbacks out of the way. Not only get one out of the way, get one with rushing upside. Hopefully last year was a bit of an anomaly. He had a great rookie season, came in super hot, and then made it to the NFC Championship game. High hopes going into last season. Injuries kind of derailed things for Jaden Daniels, but like the price here at 63. If we get squeezed out of 3 quarterbacks, then we've got hopefully an elite quarterback, or at least one with the rushing upside, rushing touchdown upside. Relatively weak division, I would say, from a defensive perspective. So like the scoring opportunities there for the Washington Commanders, and in particular Jaden Daniels. Back to the board we go. Round 6 coming to an end. Our next picks are 82 and 87. So just kind of trying to think ahead a little bit. Maybe Alec Pierce if he falls. Do like Chuba. I didn't like the news that came out today on Algier. He was probably the biggest disappointment. He signs, I think it was a 2 or 3 year deal with the Cardinals. They just restructured Connor's deal. They had Trey Benson there. Very nervous about Trey Benson's situation. I didn't draft a lot of him going into this because I had my concerns not only about the player, but also about the offense and the organization. So I steered pretty clear of Trey Benson. I may have one share over 75, 80 drafts. Happy about that. But did have my fair share of Tyler Algier. So not very happy about his landing spot. Was hoping for Seattle, Denver, Detroit, any number of other locations that didn't really pan out. So anyways, Tyler Algier is probably a little bit of a faller after today's news. Wow, he goes early. Super Surfer sees it different. Well, I hope he's right because I've got some bags of Tyler Algier. I was planning on going late at wide receiver or tight end here. I think I'm going to do that still. Was tempted to go Fannin, but I'm going to go ahead and grab Jakobi Meyers. Get him here as our third wide receiver. Start building up that room. Fannin makes it back. We'll take Fannin. Otherwise, kind of just seeing what else we might do here. Could also get into that Trevor. Get Trevor and get that out of the way. That's also an option. I'll do one of those two. Yeah, I don't really love anything else on the board. I'm going to go ahead and get Lawrence here, 4 picks past ADP. Scoop him, pair him up with Jakobi Meyers, who signed a multi-year deal this offseason. I like that pairing. You know, people are definitely going to, you know, they'll go for that, but they're also going to go the BTJ stacks. So real quick, let's recap this team. We went robust RB right out the gate. Christian McCaffrey, Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall. All three are very good in the passing game, if not elite. Breece obviously is in the worst environment for fantasy points, and that obviously and then we have Christian McCaffrey, old reliable, and he fell 3 picks past ADP, so we get him at 10. So a real strong start there at running back. Quarterback, Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence stacked up with Jakobi Meyers, along with Carnell Tate and Emeka Egbuka. Going to be hard to be too critical. I would say the weakest room at this point is the wide receiver room. So we're going to, you know, pick our spots there. Surprised that these quarterbacks are falling. Usually I see it where they're getting pulled up a little bit, but every room is different. Again, you are listening to the No Structure podcast, presented to you by Fantasy Fitness. We're doing a live little board draft and reacting to today's free agency news. Appreciate you guys being here. We're growing the channel all summer long. We will be doing drafts hopefully every day or nearly every day. And if we do miss a day, we'll be making up for it on the days we do draft. 1 pick away. Okay. There's chaos in the streets. I don't know why. Give me Sam Laporta at pick 106. Not only do I need a tight end, but it is easily the best value on the board. 12 picks past ADP. He falls a full round. I love it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. This team is coming together nicely. 3 picks away here in the 10th round. Well, I have my pick of Baker or Goff. We got Amika. We'll go with Goff and go with kind of the off stack here. Try to get a little unique, little game theory. I don't know. Maybe that's a little less common. We make it through. Real strong start in 3 out of the first 4 rooms. Jaden Daniels, Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff. That room's solid, if not elite. McCaffrey, Love, Hall, also really solid. Weak here in the running back room. Ibuka, Carnell Tate, Jacoby Myers. We've got a lot of work to do here with these last 100 picks or so. And then I think we're good for a while in the tight end category as well. We got the kind of off stack here, Jared Goff, Sam Laporta, Trevor Lawrence, Jacoby Myers, and then the unstacked Jaden Daniels. Let's get to work. All right, let's see. Any other news, free agency news to react to? I'll keep my eyes peeled. It's a Monday afternoon. We're just trying to keep it light and fun in here. Keep the vibe, chill. Rip a little board real quick. This will get me to my 10th little board, halfway through my fill. And also, I think we're about halfway through the tournament. So, something to keep in mind. Probably looking at, right now we're on a 3-3-3-1 build structure. We have Mayfield falls all the way to 126. That's pretty crazy. We have picks 130 and 135 coming up here. Would have liked Dobbs there. That would have been a nice. Oh, we have. Oh no. House issues. Let's go Debo. He's a free agent, but should get I would hopefully get probably a 1-year deal. We'll see what ends up with Samuel. Maybe he stays in Washington. If so, we get a little stack there. All right, let's go Brenton Strange. We'll get the stack. It's kind of where the value is on the board here. I like Concepcion as well, but I think that some of the picks a little bit further back, like just a little bit more. It gets us a double with Jacoby Myers and Brenton Strange stacked up with Trevor Lawrence. All right, let's get back to the board view, and then we will keep this conversation moving. Oh, shoot. All righty. Emmett Johnson going off at 140. And then we have Mendoza going off 141. Goddard slipping for whatever reason here at 142. Having some mouse issues. Sorry about that, folks. Okay, now we're sitting on a 3-3-4-2 build. Coming up on picks 154 and 159. Have a couple players in mind. Hopefully, one of them one wide receiver or two wide receivers there. We'll just have to see. Again, if you guys join on YouTube at Fantasy Fitness IO, we can definitely engage in the comments. Ask any questions you guys have about any players, your own fantasy teams, your dynasty teams, anything fantasy related. Happy to opine for you. And then also wanted to say, check out last night's stream if you guys didn't catch that. I had Zero Fucks on. He's a BBM finalist from last year. Definitely worth catching that episode. We did 2 drafts and it brought a lot of insight. All right, I'm gonna go Cooper here. Was thinking about going Travis Hunter, but like the buzz on Cooper. Want to grab him. Think he'll maybe go in the first round. He's got some upside. Very twitchy player. Good in the open space. So going with Cooper. We'll see if Hunter falls back to us. If not, maybe Booty here with the news on Diggs's exit. Okay. Well, Hunter falls about 10 picks. We'll take him here. Now we're up to actually a triple stack now with Trevor Lawrence, Travis Hunter, Jacoby Myers, and Bretton Strange. We have the single stack Jared Goff with Sam Laporta, and then no stacks with Jaden Daniels. 3 running backs so far in this build: Christian McCaffrey, Jeremiah Love, Breece Hall. We went robust RB right out the gate. And then, yeah, those 2 tight ends, as I previously just mentioned, Sam Laporta and Bretton Strange. Okay, let's take a look at the board. We are coming up in the end of the 14th round. We'll be picking again at 178 and 183. At that spot of the board, we got, I think, a value pocket for tight ends. We also have, really there you can kind of go any which way you want, depending on team need. There's running backs back there, wide receivers that I like, tight ends. Yeah, it's a good range. 7 picks away. You're listening to the No Structure podcast presented to you by Fantasy Fitness. Thinking through this a little bit. Sorry for the dead air. Just kind of looking at some of our options here. Kamara's probably a trade, maybe, at this point. They did just sign ETN. I imagine they're going to try to move on from Alvin Kamara. It really just doesn't make sense unless they think they're, player away. All right, let's go ahead and grab Kamani Vidal here at pick 178. Like that price on Vidal. That gets us our fourth running back. We picked at pick 10, 3 picks past ADP there for McCaffrey. Jeremiah Love at pick 15, and then Breece Hall at 34. And now we're coming back to the running back position at pick 178. Kamani Vidal, I think he's pretty safe behind Amari and Hampton. Obviously, they can always bring somebody else in, but the way he played last year while he filled in for Hampton was pretty impressive. I think he's got a pretty high BMI. I think he can consolidate in the event of another Hampton injury. He did pretty decent in the passing game as well. So give me Kamani Vidal here at pick 178 as our fourth running back. And then I'm going to just looking at the board here. Like Njoku, haven't seen any news break on him yet. Let me know in the comments if anything's come out on him. I do also like Tesla here. Hard to pass up on Njoku for Tesla. Let's go Njoku. Obviously, I like Tesla for the stack, but I don't want to force that. Garner's also pretty good, but give me Njoku for our most likely last tight end in this draft. That is at pick 183. So we have Sam Laporta, a full round pass ADP at pick 106. Brenton Strange, pretty much at ADP there, 135. And then a little discount here on Njoku. Still waiting to hear where he's going. We are sitting on a 3-4-6-3 build, and we are 4 picks away from closing out this little board. Again, appreciate everybody stopping by. This is a best ball podcast. No Structure podcast presented to you by Fantasy Fitness. We're doing a little board draft, $3 entry, 100,000 a first, and reacting to some of the free agency news today. This is a 5, maybe a 6 running back build, most likely. And I would say probably 8 or, yeah, probably 8 wide receivers. I think with the Gainwell signing in Tampa, that definitely means, that's obviously very good for Jaylen Warren, but I also think that Caleb Johnson's bags are live. Caleb Johnson, if you've been drafting him, which I have here at the very back of the, pick 211, definitely think he's moving up with Gainwell out of town. Obviously, a very, very disappointing rookie season, but was a third rounder out of Iowa State SEC conference. Numbers came in a little, below expectations at the combine. There he goes. He moves up to pick 197. So I think we're going to see that move with him. I think this is a Ray Davis-ass team, if I've ever seen one. See if we can get Ray here. If he goes, looking at one of these wide receivers. No, this is a Ray Davis-ass team. Let's go ahead and lock in that high-value handcuff. We might be stopping right here. We'll have a shot at a few of these wide receivers. I like Horton. Maybe Jacoby Lane. I don't know. We have a couple rookie wide receivers, so might stick to somebody else that's got maybe a slightly more defined role or has some upside. I like Torrey Horton, Kyle Williams, maybe Cooper Kupp. Okay, yeah, Horton's falling. I know he's out for spring workouts, getting some work done. I think it's on his knee, if I remember right. But he's going a full round and a half past ADP. We'll scoop him here. I like his profile for best ball. He can, run those deep routes. Maybe he's not going to get a ton of volume on a consistent basis, but he fits the best ball profile I look for. Like I said, it's a very eclectic wide receiver room. Certainly no clear star here, but I think we've got Emeka and Myers should add some stability. Obviously, a lot of questions around Travis Hunter and how much he's going to be playing offense. Marion Cooper might just be a lot of hype, but, I'm going to buy the propaganda on this team. And then we're taking a discount on Torrey Horton with some of the injury news surrounding him. We're up to 7 wide receivers. We're either going to add 2 more wide receivers or 1 more wide receiver and 1 more running back. Overall, I like the squad. Somebody like Cooper and Keenan Allen, I think, make a ton of sense on a build like this. Obviously, they're more of a floor play, but with some of the other players around them that we're kind of counting on some spike weeks or some upside for, they could fit this team nicely. See what we're also left with at the running back position. This could be a LaQuint Allen-esque team as well. Kind of would like to know if Rachaad White has signed there. Let's see. Any news on Rachaad White? Nothing yet. But the word is he could land in Jacksonville or Washington. That's kind of the latest news there. So we'll see. Okay, 2 picks away. Probably going to take either Cooper or Keenan Allen here. Let's go Cooper Kupp. Consolidate our bets a little bit around Seattle. If for whatever reason Horton misses some time, maybe that gives Cooper a slight boost early in the season and get some points on the board for us in our pod. A little bit past ADP, but Cooper Kupp, I think he's got one more solid season in him. Probably doesn't have the spike week upside we look for, but at this price, add some good texture to this room. I'm going to keep this a 5 running back room, and we're going to go 9. And we'll also go Keenan Allen on this. Some of these dusty old guys in Keenan Allen and Cooper Kupp, but I think it fits kind of what we need on the back half of this room, with some uncertainty around guys like Carnell Tate, Travis Hunter, Omar Cooper Jr. Yeah, little dusty for sure, but we have 9. Let's go ahead and recap the squad. Strong quarterback room. Again, this is a 3-5-9-3 build. This is the little board $3 buy-in, 100,000 a first. And this is my 10th team out of 20. So 3 quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels, maybe or maybe not, stacked up with Deebo Samuel. Trevor Lawrence triple stacked with Jakobi Meyers, Travis Hunter, and Brenton Strange. And then we have a single stack with Jared Goff and Sam Laporta. At the running back room, we went 5-3-3 with the first 3 picks, followed by 2 late running backs, Christian McCaffrey, Jeremiah Love, and Breece Hall. And then late, we picked up Kamani Vidal and Ray Davis. Wide receivers, Emeka Egbuka, Carnell Tate, the rookie out of Ohio State, Jakobi Meyers, Deebo Samuel, Omar Cooper Jr., rookie out of Indiana, Travis Hunter, Torrey Horton, and then 2 dusty old guys in Cooper Kupp and Keenan Allen late. And then those tight ends, Sam Laporta, Brenton Strange, and David Njoku. I think this is a solid team. I feel good about the tight end room. The running back room, albeit it's light in quantity, and then real strong in the quarterback room. Wide receivers, kind of the wild card here. Interesting texture, but yeah, I think we built it. I think we built it out correctly for the most part. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But that wraps it up. Real quick, just one more quick shout out for the sponsor. This episode is sponsored to you by Fantasy Fitness. If you guys are ready to dominate your fantasy football leagues, be it Dynasty, Redraft, or Best Ball, go ahead and check out Fantasy Fitness at www.fantasyfitness.io. You get all the latest news. News is pulled in 5 times a day from 5 major news sources. You can look at all the player profile pages, team profile pages. And if you want to get behind the paywall, there's 3 different plans, $4, $8, and $12 per month. And you can integrate your fantasy football rosters if you're playing on Sleeper, FFPC, or Yahoo, up to the minute roster information, along with roster metrics, AI insights, contract information, individual player notes on a per roster basis while you're working trades with league mates. You also get the bird's eye view of the everybody else's rosters within your league, all your other league mates rosters, those get pulled in. And from there, you're able to initiate trades, talk to the fantasy football AI agent, talk trade strategies, player values, or specific trade scenarios. You can trade away or trade for specific players, or just analyze a trade that's been sent to you. So again, go ahead and check out Fantasy Fitness, www.fantasyfitness.io, and give some love to our sponsor. That's going to conclude today's afternoon episode. Hoping to get on this evening with a best ball buddy, Zero Fucks, if he's around. If you didn't see yesterday's evening episode, we ripped 2 big board drafts. I think both those drafts came out pretty solid, and we talked through different player pricing on the board, a little bit of free agency speculation before today's news. But I thought that was a really good episode. You guys should check that out if you haven't already. This concludes the afternoon session of the No Structure podcast. You guys have a great rest to your afternoon, and we'll see you guys this evening. Peace.